Spring, 1859. A party from Nephi, Utah, consisting of George Washington Bradley, Isaac Morley, and several others, selected a location for a colony in the lowlands along the Sanpitch River. Originally named Sanpitch for the local Ute Indian chief, and then Mego for another local Indian, the town has also been called Duck Springs and Little Rome. The name Moroni has always been its official name, however, derived from the name of a major figure in the Book of Mormon. Because the area was fairly flat and more convenient for digging irrigation ditches, the pioneers first developed a town site along the river. After building dugouts in the riverbanks and log cabins on the flat, a dam was built and a 3-mile-long irrigation canal was dug to convey water to the farmland. By 1862, a log bridge had been erected, a road graded, and a flour mill and meeting house built. As progress became evident, settlers from more populated Sanpete colonies moved to the newly formed settlement. In 1862, the friendly river, which had attracted and fed the settlers, overflowed its banks, flooding the town, its fields, canals, and ditches. It was a matter of good common sense for Brigham Young to instruct the Moroni Saints to give up their river bottom site for a new one on the low hills to the north and northeast. The tedious and redundant work of relocating and reconstructing their town commenced at once. Millwright Charles Kemp erected a flour mill, and a new log meeting house was built for worship, school, town meetings, and socials. In 1863, a salt refinery was built as one of Moroni's first export industries. In the same year, Progressive Moroni became the new county seat, and George Bradley was appointed Sanpete County's probate judge. After only 10 months, however, the seat was moved back to Manti. Early farming efforts were successful, and by 1864, Moroni was selling flour to Salt Lake City for $20 per 100 pounds. In 1865, during the Black Hawk War, Moroni erected a fort with a stone bastion and observation tower. The fort covered the present City Hall block and westward, with 12-foot rock walls supporting cabins along the inside. The bastion was located north of the fort, near the present elementary school. Its walls, 3 foot by 16 foot, held portholes, which gave a view of the entire valley. In 1866, when nearby settlers were ordered to move into the fort, the town of Fountain Green occupied the northeast section, the town of Wells the west side, and the town of Moroni the remainder. Following the war, the colonists moved out of their fort and began building houses and businesses in the platted town site. A cooperative store was started in a 13 by 20 foot building. It grew into the Moroni Co-op, which still stands on the north side of Main Street. When the North Sanpete Railroad brought a line into Moroni in 1885, the town became the distribution point for goods, exported products, and mail for the rest of the county. This brought a period of prolonged prosperity, as reflected by the many impressive new residential, public, and commercial structures built over the next 30 years. In 1889, an impressive tabernacle was erected and used as a meeting house. Designed by Manti Temple architect William Folsom, the tabernacle was a magnificent stone masonry structure with a tall central tower and steeple. A labor of love, it took 11 years to complete. In 1891, Mons Monson and T.J. Morley erected the best equipped opera house in the country, a 35 by 85 foot structure with a 35 by 25 foot stage, a balcony, and seating capacity said to be 1,000. Improvements and growth in Moroni continued after the turn of the century. Irrigation companies were formed, electric power was brought to town in 1902, and the Bank of Moroni was founded in 1905. A telephone system was installed in 1912. An improved water system was constructed the following year. A boon to the local economy was the sugar refinery, erected in Moroni in 1916. It lasted only until 1937, but by then the poultry business was growing rapidly and taking up the financial slack. The Moroni Feed Corporation built a large turkey processing plant south of town in 1935 and has expanded its operations ever since. The plant is one of the largest producers in the United States and is one of Sanpete's major employers. Today, Moroni is the 5th largest city in Sanpete County, with a population of 1,633 reported in 2020. If you'd like to see more of this type of content, please hit the like button. Leave us a comment, and don't forget to subscribe.